in those moments when the ignorant thoughts are coming back. Yes, of course, then by reminding yourself that your self-knowledge, your beingness is not a thought, when the habit comes back and the activity of ignorance out of habit tries to hold you and get you back into ignorance, so to speak, when this activity comes and you recognize that, then ignore, yes. Then lovingly let it pass by like the clouds on the sky, right? But if a thought maybe comes up like, oh, out of this, and this is what is very important, what is important here in this sharing, as you know, we don't dismiss the mind per se and say like the mind is always ignorance or something like that. The mind is bad, the mind has to die and only silence has to remain. And no, there would be a dismiss of this human experience, including the expression of consciousness in thought, like in poetry or in satsang or in sharing with your beloved beautiful experience, how wonderful it is, or how much you love her or him. That's all. Also, this is not ignorance. This is an expression of life, of consciousness. So I would invite you to not create a separation, to create a separation between you and your mind. Otherwise, you will fall in the next trap. And there will be conflict, and this conflict will create ripples and waves in your mind and will make it more difficult for you to remain in clarity. By fighting your mind, it's much more likely that you will get into that ignorant state of mind that will not allow you to see through which thoughts are ignorant and which are an expression of the party.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, that's a little bit my problem with this lovingly ignoring or don't listening or however you want to call it, that I know that when I now start to ignore the mind better, so this self-knowledge of the mind on the one hand and the ignorance of the mind on the other hand, when I start to ignore it both, then it will be due to a doing or due to a cause in time or due to a yeah, so I can't really do it, or I don't know.
You don't need to do anything. Just see clearly if it is an expression of yourself as consciousness, an expression from the totality, from the whole, from thought and emotions that belong to the well-being, we could almost say, to the totality of this dream, that have no self-interest, not even an interest of me being free or awake. There is no person that ever will be free, and there is no person that has self-knowledge.
Yeah.
That person is the ignorance, right?
Yeah,
So make sure first, before dismissing on the one side thoughts of self-knowledge and on the other side thoughts of ignorance, that you're clear that these are really two sides, or maybe they're both just thoughts of ignorance, as we have discovered a bit today. And when you're not clear, and then I would like to open the space maybe for another question from someone else. And if you're not clear, then just come back to the beingness and silence and let it be, and remain quiet for a while.
When I'm not clear, okay, and then I just let it like it is, and or what?
Yes, because you know that your self-knowledge does not need to know. Your self-knowledge does not need to know anything, because it is knowledge, completeness, wholeness itself. When you know that you are not seeking and not knowing and needing to know anything even, you don't even need to know if this thought is ignorant or enlightened. Who cares? You could even ask you, who cares? And then come back to
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the step to, or not step, I don't know, to be done. Yeah, but it hurts somehow for me. It's emotionally hard.
and that I
I love
understand.
the self-knowledge. So why to do all this journey, and now I'm here, and then I should throw away the gift of the journey, and it's so mindfuck. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's that I'm not really ready for it emotionally to do it. But yeah, I've heard you, and I think it was a nice answer, and I can really take it in. So I have the feeling, yeah.
And see that this mindfuck is your game. There is no entity, some evil mind coming from another world that is, it's all happening in you, in consciousness. It's your game. It's your game that you play with yourself. And yes, agreed, it becomes more and more unbearingly painful to play the ignorant side of it. That's the kitchen with all of that stuff that doesn't resonate anymore. So you just go on the dance floor and dance, man.